Live on DAZN Worldwide, April 26th, Eubank Jr versus Benn. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV with Sunbed.
Are you just like naturally jealous that I happen to have an olive skin and a beautiful tan? Most of the
Okay, I think you actually did get a bit of a tan, but you definitely topped it up. You went in the Sunbed, be honest.
No.
You got the teeth done, you done the Sunbed.
No, absolutely not. I'll tell you if I did. I mean, I'd probably, I reckon, being honest, say once a year. No, I don't know. Maybe every cut. I would, if I felt like shit, and if I felt like I haven't had sun from ages, might do a cheeky 12 minutes down Worley Hill. That's it. But I've not had a sunbed in any recent times. So unfortunately, this is all real. Whereas you pasty silly tosser, yours ain't. Don't get the because you're looking at me going, look at him, fucking unbelievable, that Hearn. Sorry, my language. I keep doing this.
Right,
Thanks for the video, by the way.
I do make you look good on social media. Be honest.
When you say you make me look good, you asked me to do a sales pitch for the show, and I delivered it.
Which you weren't going to do, by the way.
Well, but so you didn't make me look good. It was my ability and talent that made me look good.
Yeah, but you said to me, I'm not going to do it.
I will say, I've actually never had a response like I've had off that video. So thank you very much.
Can you give us a bit of an idea who's responded to you?
Everyone.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. He DM'd me. No, a lot of the boxing world. Who else? Nice. Oh, I had a lovely message from Ian Wright, actually. Right, which is ironic because we're at Spurs. No, just I think it was a good one though, wasn't it? Like when I was in the moment, and do you know how many people was going, yeah, but how often does he practice that? What do you think? I'm sitting at home going, right, this Saturday live at No, start again. It's just a weird talent that I have, and although jokes aside, I know people think I really rate myself, and I do actually, but it's just something I can do. Everyone's good at something, and that's what I'm good at. I'm not. I mean, I was going to say you might be brighter than me, but that's a bad example. But there are people around here that are much brighter than me, but they can't sell like me.
I think I could sell like you, though.
No, mate. What, with that accent?
Yeah.
No.
With that accent?
Yeah. Because your accent, I can't even understand what you're saying. Do you think they're going to, when you give it the old...
My mates call me Graham McDowell.
Let me tell you about Saturday here, Tottenham Stadium. Everyone's going to go, what's this geezer going on about?
Right. I'll be honest with you here. And you might not like this. No, I'm just being honest. I'm not winding you up, I swear. Right?
Listen to this
No, I'm not.
Go on,
I'm not. Right. I've never seen you rattled like you've been twice this week, and that's being truthful. Ben Shalom, in the interview with IFL, had you on toast over this bet situation, and Napper yesterday.
With Dave, well, firstly, I wasn't rattled with Napper. Napper said Conor's going to knock, Eubanks going to knock Conor out, and I said, is your man going to make weight? And he wouldn't say yes. I asked him 400 times, and eventually he was like, yes. But I like Napper. No, I'm not rattled. I actually don't mind Shalom. He messaged me today. He was saying to me, you said I'm a strange bloke. I said, you're a fucking very strange bloke. But no, not in the slightest rattled by Ben. I'm super chilled. Be interesting to see what happens today. I don't know if I'll be able to talk up there because Eubank kind of don't let me. But I don't know. I've done my talking. The fight's ready. The show's ready. The seats are up, ready to go.
Yesterday when he walked past you, what was said or what happened in that interaction? Because no one would have seen it obviously on TV, but upstairs before we interviewed you and Napper came in. Yeah.
Ask him if you want. I was eating chips from Five Guys. And I said, do you want a chip?
What did he do?
No, nothing. I don't even think he heard me. But he just walked past and then I spoke to Napper. Because I said, check weigh today. How'd you get on? Because yesterday was the British Boxing Board of Control check weigh.
And what was the outcome of that?
No, it's not disclosed to both sides.
Do you think he's really tight at the weight? Do you think right now he's under a lot of pressure?
Yes. I think he's always under pressure. I mean, you were there in Saudi when he made weight 160 to fight Zerameta. Like, you could tell. And it was a bit, I'm saying it's unfair that Conor stuck him on him. Conor didn't stick it on him because he'd just make weight. It was just that's the day that Conor arrived in the hotel. But you could tell physically he was stressed. And he'll be stressed today. And it's going to be a very uncomfortable 48 hours for him. Actually, maybe a little bit more.
Is it going to be an uncomfortable 48 hours for you? Because you have went out on your shield to say that Conor Benn's going to do this.
Mate, yeah. I've won fights, I've lost fights. It doesn't matter. All I'm telling you is what is in my heart and what is in my mind. And that's, I think Conor Benn's going to win. I mean, what football team do you support?
Manchester United.
Okay, well, you probably think they're going to win most weeks. Actually, probably not with Man United these days. But generally, do you know what I mean? When you're on the team, when you love something and you believe in it, you believe in them and you believe they're going to win. And that's how I feel about Conor Benn. Not because... But by the way, what's the odds in the fight? Conor's a little outsider? Something like that? I don't know. So it's not like I'm the only one that thinks Conor Benn's going to win. But I do believe he's going to win. But I also, in every interview I've spoken to you about, and every interview I've given, I've said the same thing. It's a very tough fight. It's a pure 50-50 fight.
Let's go into how you think this fight goes. Do you think Conor Benn comes out there with all the intention of taking Chris Eubank in and out inside 1-2 rounds?
I'd say 1 or 2 rounds, but yeah, I think the best way to describe it, I think he comes out pretty much like he always does, and comes out with bad intentions to hurt him early in the fight. You've never seen Conor Benn come out and move around and just like flick off the jab for 3 or 4 rounds. Every fight he starts fast, and he'll start fast here. Now, you do, when you go out there, I don't know if you've been out there yet, but it is the most powerful experience. Like, even as a fan, a promoter, whatever you want to call it, when you walk out there, and we'll go after this interview, you will just go, wow. Like, imagine doing that as a fighter. And there is no doubt that the experience in this fight, and I think that's the major edge for Chris outside of the weight, and I think it might be the only edge, is with Eubank. Eubank's never fought headlined on a show like this before, but he has been consistently involved in big shows, and Conor's been on some big shows. But Eubank has the edge in that respect, and Conor's got to just stay in the moment. I spoke to him last night, and I just said, a lot of people use the phrase eyes wide open. And what that means is, like, in the moment, like, be aware of where you are and what you're doing. Don't go into this sort of hallucinogenic state of, Jesus. Because I've seen fighters do that before.
In terms of Chris Eubank Jr., is this... A lot of people are saying even if he was to win this, he might say he doesn't want the rematch. Do you think that there's a possibility that Chris Eubank Jr., if he was to lose this fight, would walk away?
No. No. Mate, what do you think is the biggest motivator for Chris Eubank Jr.?
You're insinuating it's money, obviously.
Come on, mate.
I can't say it.
Oh, you can, but you don't want to because you don't want to get in trouble. But that's all it's about for him. I'm sure he enjoys the sport and the challenge and all that, but it's money. He's not that bothered about winning world titles. He's had so many opportunities to fight for world titles, and it's not been the right fight for him, so he hasn't taken it. Money. And there's a lot of money in the first fight, and there's a lot of money in the second fight. So it doesn't matter whether he wins on Saturday, it doesn't matter whether he gets iced in a round, he's going to want to do the rematch.
His dad was on the Sun Sport, and on the Sun... Don't read the Sun, don't really like the Sun, but I'm just giving my opinion on it, that he had comments about Chris Eubank Jr. It was a great interview, actually. George Groves, Harlem Eubank, Wally Downs and Jack Figg, and he said he believes that Junior should have had his licence revoked after that egg incident. What would you say to those comments?
I don't think they should be doing interviews with Chris Eubank Sr, if I'm honest. I don't think it's fair. I don't think he's speaking with a balanced mind. You can see that in interviews. He said, I should have my license revoked because I'm making this fight. What on earth is he talking about? You had Chris Eubank Sr was a middleweight who ended up fighting at light heavyweight and cruiserweight against Carl Thompson. He got battered against Carl Thompson because he's fighting a cruiserweight. This is a guy that was weighing 160 pounds, But fighters do move up divisions and take on big challenges. There's another one coming up. It's called Terence Crawford. He's moving up 2 divisions to fight a massive Canelo Alvarez at 168. And the reason this fight's happening is because of demand. And for anyone who sits there and goes, there isn't demand for this fight, are you absolutely mental? We've sold 65,000 tickets. It's going to do 1 million buys on pay-per-view. Every media outlet is covering this fight. There is profile and exposure like we just don't see for fights. It's massive, and that's why it's happening. And Chris, for me, and I don't want to talk about the relationship between Junior and his father. But for me, it's just a case of sour grapes because he's just not involved in the decision making, in the process, in the money, all of these things. And
Are you sad he's not involved?
I'm sad for Junior. I mean, he hasn't shown me much respect, Junior. It doesn't have to. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sad that for someone who's very close to his father, like me, that they can't share this moment together. I'm not sad for the promotion because the fight's sold. And listen, maybe he even turns up on Saturday. I don't think so, but like, I'm sad for Junior because he should be there to experience this moment with his son. And this ain't starting a new school. This is having a fight at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the biggest fight in British boxing, against your arch nemesis, his son. And you should be there in the corner. But, you know, each to their own. Something's happened, and I hope, as I've said before, you know, life is bigger than Saturday. Life is bigger than this fight for both men. And hopefully they can work it out.
What's the private conversations between you and your dad, right? Whenever Eubank Jr. and Sr. are having a go at you, like, what are you and your dad? Does your dad sit and say to you, like, does he give you advice on that kind of thing?
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We done about 4 hours of media this morning, me and Bazzo. It was quite hilarious. He hasn't really given me any advice for years and years and years on boxing. Like, I mean, I know, obviously, in his day, he was a master. But I know so much more about boxing and what's happening now than he does because I live and breathe it every day. So he'll never say a bad word about Senior, you know? And even though when I've had bad rows with Senior, because I've had some bad rows with Senior, we've never really actually got on. He's never gone, yeah, he's this, he's that. He's like, well, that's Eubank. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sure he's got his opinions on Junior and Senior, but he's not really one to kind of. My dad's not a moaner or not a gossiper. Do you know what I mean? But he'd never like sit there and say.
Polar opposite of you.
I would, you know, he would never sit there and go, yeah, watch that, don't like that bloke, don't like that bloke, don't like that bloke, like people do. Because he couldn't give a monkeys. He just gets on with it.
I thought you were doing an Anthony Lever impression there. Eddie, what in terms of like you in this fight, like, do you fully believe Conor Benn does the business? In, like, I know your head maybe says one thing, your heart says another.
Well, I know the dangers of the fight. I've been around long enough to know that it's not going to be easy. And I've also been around long enough to know that sometimes it doesn't go your way. But if you ask me who is going to win the fight, I truly believe it will be Conor Benn. I also understand that it's dangerous and he's a bigger guy. And until you get in there and know that, like, there's a couple of things really. Number one is, can Conor hurt Eubank? And I think the answer is 100%. Now, until he lands on his chin, you know, we might be sitting there after 4 rounds and he's hitting with a kitchen sink and he's all right. Then it's a problem. But I just believe the sharpness of Conor Benn will be too much for him. And I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't rate Eubank. I've never really rated him. But in the early days, he was very tough, right? And he was a strong kid and he mentally, physically, do you know what I mean? I don't think he enjoys getting hit anymore. And he's going to get hit on Saturday, hard and fast. So we'll see what he's up to.
What happens if we get a surprise and Chris Eubank Sr. shows up? Do you think that's even possible?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at all. My dad said that today. Eubank likes to make an entrance, right? He likes to make a scene.
Today?
No, I mean, maybe. I hope so. But I don't think there's any other, you know, way to make an entrance and to turn up on fight night. But listen, I could be wrong, but from what everybody's saying, like the comments about Chris were pretty brutal. I mean, you may find Chris say, I don't want him there. I know he says, yeah, it'd be great, but really, like, it's a distraction, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. But look, that's between them, personal stuff, so.
What did you think of Nigel Benns' comments on the sparring?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, generally you'd keep the sparring in-house, but Nigel's very excited and very proud. So you have to give him a little bit of a pass in that respect, because he come up to me and he's telling me about all the spars. I mean, I know about the spars because I speak to Tony Sims and the team, you know, regularly during camp, but that was just confirmation, mate. You ain't going to believe when we sparred so-and-so. Yeah, but listen, sparring. But it's a great sign when you're sparring well and beating up bigger men.
What's Turki feel about this fight? What, like, no one's really heard from him in the media or anyone. What's his thoughts on this? Have you spoken to him about it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about who's going to win? I don't. He's not really giving me his opinion on it. I mean, he's incredibly excited because he's seen the numbers, he's seen the ticket sales. It's a bit of an unknown, isn't it? Like, it's not like both guys have been dominating the world level for years and years, and like, there's so many questions. There's questions on Conor Benn. You know, he's had some great wins. He's got himself in the top 5 in some governing bodies. Is he good enough to be elite world level? Chris Eubank, what's he got left? You know, is he done? Is he coming on for another run? Was he just not up for those fights? Now he's bang up for it and he's going to look sensational. I just don't know. I feel like you're really dragging this out.
Okay. Rick Glazer comments on you falling out with Turki Al Sheikh and the Shakur. What's the situation?
I don't know, but I think I've met Rick Glazer once. Like, I don't even know what he does or what. But, like, I speak to Turki basically every day, right? I've been with him this week for hours, talking about the plans. Because, like, we've never, ever fallen out once. Once. Like, I just don't know. But this is the bullshit gossip game of boxing where it just takes one person to say something. Someone said something to me yesterday, and I was just like, what? So, I heard so-and-so. I went, where on earth did you get that from? Oh, someone told me. I went, mental. You know, but like,
what is the Shakur situation?
The situation is, I spoke to James Prince and Josh Dubin last night. We've got another fight with His Excellency, with Shakur Stevenson. That's the second of the 2 fights.
Okay, so let me ask you, sorry, before you continue. What's Lou DiBella's involvement now? Because now he's down as a promoter, apparently.
No, he's not. No, that's what they said. No. So, this is our last fight with Shakur Stevenson if we don't extend our contract. And I would love to extend our contract with Shakur Stevenson, and I think we get on very well. I would hope he feels the same. But if not, then we don't. But that's the situation. And, you know, I spoke to His Excellency about it. I spoke to Dr. Raka. I spoke to James Prince, Josh Dubin. And, you know, it's no problem.
You going to be in New York next week?
Yes, I'll be there straight from here.
What day do you go?
Okay, what's this? PA or something? I get there on Monday night and I go straight to Riyadh straight after the show.
So you're not going to see your good friend the Nue in action?
No, I will be going from Times Square to Riyadh with His Excellency.
Don't know how you black.
I've fallen out with him apparently, but I'll be on his plane, so that's good.
Edward, thank you very much for your time as always on IFLTV. I'll make you famous again. Don't worry about it.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you do come in with this big stirring pot, but every now and again you're useful.
Adios, amigo.